Hi, this is Jundo. Welcome to Tree Leaf. One question I get asked from time to time is, "Hey Jundo, what's with the hair and the beard?" I thought Buddhist monks are supposed. Number one, I'm going to say about this beard. This is the reason in this little Japanese town where we live, I get asked to be Santa Claus a lot at the end of the year over at the church. But anyway, what about the hair? What about the beard? Well, all I'm going to say is, have you ever seen a statue of Buddha himself? The man had hair. I've even seen a couple of statues of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas with a really cool mustache. The convention of shaving the head is really just that, a kind of convention that developed with time to represent leaving the world. And it is true that monks in monasteries, in many places, do shave their heads, but not everywhere. If you go to China, those guys always seem to have quite a bit of growth there. Same with a lot of Tibetan teachers I've seen. I have posted the rules from a Vinaya interpretation. That's, the hardcore stuff from Southeast Asia. And even there it says that the hair should not be longer than two finger widths, something like that. So hair is not really verboten in Buddhism. And anyway, what about as a monk? This word monk we can touch on for a second too. That's a loaded word because a monk is someone who's living in a monastery. There are times when my practice, I'm in retreat or I'm in a monastery. Then I live as a monk, but now I'm out in the world and I function what I call as a minister or as clergy. So the word monk is not really appropriate. But the fact of the matter is, when I go to visit some Japanese temple here or a more conservative place such as Eiheiji or Sojiji, the head temples, I often shave. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. And when at Eiheiji, do as the monks do. Kind of leads to a funny story. I did visit Eiheiji a couple of years ago, and I was to participate in the big morning service where all the monks, a couple of hundred monks, are chanting, and they have a section for visiting monks. And my head was properly shaved, my robes were all standard issue. But they asked me about the beard, and they were kind of implying I should shave it for the ceremony. Well, just by coincidence, I was standing next to a very ancient painting of Bodhidharma, the guy who supposedly brought Zen from India to China. And the guy had a beard and an earring. I sometimes wear an earring too. So I looked at the painting, I looked at my beard, and the big head honcho there at Eiheiji said, well, if it was good enough for Bodhidharma, you can keep your beard. So they let me keep my beard for the ceremony. The point I'm trying to make is, it's not what we look like on the outside, is it? That's important. But there's another reason I'm considering more and more recently to let my hair grow out a little bit. And that's kind of as a statement of what not only me, but a lot of folks in Western Zen, in my lineage, are trying to say. And that is that we're out in the world, man. We're no longer behind monastery walls. We're no longer recluses, monks with our begging bowls. We're out trying to be with people with families, jobs, out there with people with lives that need us. And we're living much the same. I have a family. I have a wife and a son. I'm not going to pretend that I'm a recluse living on top of a mountain. So growing the hair a bit is to say that the hard borders between lay and monk have been pierced. And I'm a minister. I'm clergy. I'm not Well, I'm not a bald monk in a monastery. So that's another reason to let my hair grow. It's a political statement, man. Okay, with that in mind, shall we sit?